Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Marvel Champion Hero Pack. This is for X-23, also known as Laura Kinney, the clone of Wolverine. Essentially his daughter, for all intents and purposes, as they usually put it in the thing. This is a expanded next character in the X-Force lineup of the mutant line of games or characters. This is really cool. So of course we're gonna get her poster. Not gonna go over that too much. And then, like always, we're going to look at her stuff. So we have some new stuff in here. So watches were introduced previous games. Just this is always update for people that maybe have only played the core game. So new card type is player side steam. These were introduced for the brand new evolution. Next evolution expansion to introduce table in the X-Force team. Basically, quick rundown is they work like other side schemes that the villains would play, but they're in the hero's deck. You pay for them, you put them into play, then when they're out, they work like any other side scheme, with the basic exceptions being you can only have up to one extra per player, so up to 1 or 2 in play at the beginning of the game, throughout the game. And when you beat them, they gain you rewards. So like other schemes, you're trying to stop them because they're hindering you and doing stuff. These usually don't hurt you, like, or do any active damage to you, but if you defeat them, then you gain an extra bonus. We have the assault keyword. When a character makes a basic thwart on a scheme with the assault keyword, that character uses attack instead of thwart. If this character is an ally, takes constant damage under the attack instead of thwart. So assault is just basically characters that use brawn over brain, essentially. Is a cheap way to say it. Linked card title. Cards with the linked keyword cannot be included in a player's deck. Instead, they are set aside at the start of the game, and any player's deck includes a card that brings a linked card into play, indicated by parentheses behind keyword. Linked cards do not count towards a minimum or maximum deck size. So they have special cards that will let you summon other cards from outside the game. Then we have Piercing. Attaches Piercing, discarding tough status cards before dealing damage. And Victory X. When a card with Victory X is defeated, place it in the victory pile. Display instead of its owner's discard pile. That's for kind of side schemes land. The player side schemes. You beat them, then they go into the player's victory pile instead of their deck. You don't actually get to use them anymore or have a chance to recycle them. Alright, so we're going to look at X-23 here. Of course, she's X-Force. She has 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. Now, it's kind of interesting because you think of her as being, right off the bat, you think like, oh, her like Wolverine. She's a fully attacking thing. But the thing is, she's also been a trained assassin, essentially. So giving her extra thwart definitely makes sense. Defense also, I think, makes sense for her thematically, because she knows she has adamantium and high healing factor. She tends to throw herself in front of her friends or allies all the time and take the damage for them, because she knows she can take it. She says living weapon response after X-23 takes any amount of damage. Ready X-23. So right there also goes with her defense ability. The facility created me to kill, but I choose to fight to protect life. So, there we go. Hand size of 5, hit points of 10. Let's see what she does on her Laura Kinney side. 6 recoveries, one of the high recoveries of the game. But yeah, have her take damage. She gets to attack again or defend again. And she can eventually flip over and heal almost her entire, like over half her health in one turn. Her mutant. She's a mutant keyword. She has Shink, which I'm guessing is her claw popping into play. Yep, put her X-23's claws into play. That would just take a second to read. Instead of Wolverine's Sneak. And it's kind of neat. A little bit different sound. Action. Shuffle either, excuse me, the Honey Badger ally or the Sisterly Bond event from your discard pile into your deck. Draw 1 card. So this is going to focus on being able to have her ally or her signature ally or her team up card And lets you get to play them again and again. That's kind of cool. After you use one or the ally gets defeated, you can then put them back in your deck so you can use them again. And you also get to draw a card. Probably not going to draw it. Might. But that's definitely cool. Let's see what her abilities are. So her standard deck, she has an upgrade of X-23's Claws. Weapon permanent. Hero action exhausts X-23's Claws and take 2 damage. X-23 gets +2 attack till the end of the round. So she obviously starts with these in play. Yeah, so she gets so kind of like, I don't want to keep relating her back to Wolverine, but just the one time I'm like trying to go here and I'm gonna hopefully stop. Is that Wolverine's mechanics were more or less he can use his life points as an extra resource. He can basically spend damage to pay for things and do stuff. I think she's gonna have a very similar type mechanic in here. So here, she can take 2 damage to gain 2 additional attack. Yeah, so she can get hit and she can do some extra damage. Cool. We have Honey Badger, her signature ally. This is Gabby Kinney. This is her clone, who basically became her little sister. Went by a couple of different names. Honey Badger is probably nice. Look, she has 1 claw in each hand. She has 2 cost, 1 thwart, 1 attack. She's an X-Men. Hero response: after Honey Badger takes any amount of damage, ready X-23. You don't scare me and I won't let you mess with my friends anymore. She's also very protective of all her friends. One other thing that makes her very unique in the Wolverine lineup is that she does have the regenerative healing factor as well. She also can't feel damage. So she can get hurt, she just doesn't feel it. So she's a good and a bad thing, because that means she could potentially take lethal damage and never know it. Or not realize it right away. That's cool. Basically, yeah, she gets hurt, 23 gets ready, X-23 gets hurt, she readies herself. So she's gonna be ready to go at all times. We have 2 copies of Animal Instinct. 0 cost event. It's a skill. Hero Interrupt. When X-23 makes a basic thwart, she gets +X thwart for this thwart, where X is equal to her attack. Oh, cool. So her attack isn't very high normally, but it's just +X thwart, where X is equal to her attack. Did her claws give her? Yeah, so you could gain 2 extra attack with her claws, and that would give you 3 extra thwart, essentially. X-23 inherited Wolverine's superhuman senses, as well as his charming personality. Interesting. Okay, so we have 3 copies of Claw Mastery. 1 cost event, another skill, max 1 per round. As a hero action, until the end of the round, X-23 gains +2 attack, and her attacks gain overkill while Honey Badger is in play. So kind of she's going to team up very well with her sister. Yeah, again, she doesn't start with a lot of attack, but she can get very aggressive very quickly. 2 copies of Regenerative Longevity. I don't know why that word was hard to get out. 1 cost event, a superpower. Action, heal a total of 4 damage from your identity and Honey Badger. Cool, so heal from both. If what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I should have Colossus level strength by now. Oh, that's a great quote. Yeah, it's cool. She gets to heal right away. We have Sisterly Bond. Okay, this is one of the cards that was mentioned. I thought it was her team-up card. It's her regular card. 0 cost event condition. Hero Interrupt. When Honey Badger thwarts her attacks, add X-23's matching power to Honey Badger's power for this use. High five. Oh, that's cool. So she normally only has 1 of each, but she can gain extra bonuses. That's definitely cool. We have Sisterhood. 2 cost support with a condition. Action, exhaust Sisterhood and discard an X-23 card from your hand. Switch your deck and discard Pal for Honey Badger add her to your hand, shuffle. Laura and Gabby's bond is stronger than their genetics. So this is a very interesting take on this character. So just having her rather than be like the assassin and going crazy and doing a ton of damage, they're kind of focusing on her ability to like team up with her sister. I don't know if we've really had any other characters that have had a deck focused around teaming up with their ally. They've had stuff where they obviously gain a benefit from having allies in play, general allies, but not specifically just a bunch of cards dedicated on one character. So it's pretty cool. Adamantium Lacing, 1 cost upgrade. You get +2 hit points. X-23 gains Retaliate 1, and her basic attacks gain Piercing. X-23's claws are coated with metal adamantium, making them incredibly sharp and nearly indestructible. Awesome. 2 extra hit points helps when she's taking damage. Retaliate and Piercing will help reduce some attacking. Cool. Grim Resolve, 1 cost upgrade. Condition. Resource. Ooh, it's a resource. Exhaust this card and take 1 damage to generate a wild. Is that all you got? With our healing, this is great. You can play your cards a lot cheaper. Pain Tolerance, 2 cost upgrade superpower. Response. After you play an X-23 card, including this one, heal 1 damage from your identity. Barely felt a thing. So this works, yeah. She can take damage to do stuff. To either ready and redefend or re-attack again. If she takes damage that way. She can also use it to like up her attack, and she can basically negate that. Cool. And your last 2 signature cards are Puncture Wound, a 0 cost upgrade condition. Attached to an enemy that X-23 or Honey Badger attacks this turn. The enemy gets -1 attack. Force Response. After the player phase begins, discard this card and deal 3 damage to the enemy. Nice. So they're gonna not be able to hurt you as much during their turn, and then at the beginning of your next turn it does 3 extra damage to them, so it can definitely help take them out. That's actually pretty cool. Awesome. Alright, so her aspect deck is going to be Aggression. We're going to have some fun X-Force character allies here. We're going to start with Boom Boom. Tabitha Smith, 3 cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 health. Action, exhaust Boom Boom, add 1 boom counter to her. Then you may discard Boom Boom to deal 1 damage to each enemy for each boom counter on her. So basically, the longer you keep her out, the more damage you can do. But the thing is, she gets killed or defeated beforehand, then it goes away. So it's a good risk reward, but each enemy, yeah, so you can have this go a couple of turns, that'd be definitely cool. Then we have Richter, Julio Richter, 3 cost ally, 1 with a 2 attack, and 3 health. Response. After Richter attacks, discard the top card of your deck. Deal 1 damage to each minion engaged with you for each resource on the discarded card. Yeah, so typically it's just going to do 1. I just wonder if Laura had any double ones on her. Nope. This might work really well in a Domino deck, because I know Domino had a couple of cards that had multiple symbols. There's some other characters that do as well. But yeah, that could be very cool if it lines up right. I think there's only a couple of cards that have 2, very few cards that ever have 3. To each minion engages you for each resource. So yeah, this would be great if Laura gets a bunch of minions gathered on her, targeting her somehow, because then she can hit them all at once. That's pretty cool. Then we have Shatterstar. Davendra 7. 4 cost ally with 2 thwart, 2 attack, and 4 health. Interrupt when Shatterstar attacks a minion, engage that minion. If you're already engaged with that minion, Shatterstar gets +1 attack for this attack. So right there, this works well with Richter, and actually off and on a couple throughout the comic books, which is kind of cool that they work together, because yeah, he could keep pulling minions to you, or at least 2 of them before he ends up dying. to his consequential damage, or 3 times just his attack, I guess. Yeah, and then you can use Julio, Richter, to then hit all of them at once. And suppose if he already attacked, it's probably done damage to him as well. A skilled sword spider, Shatterstar can cut even openings in space to teleport vast distances. Pretty cool. Alright, so our non-allies is we got 3 copies of Critical Hit. There's table there. 2 cost event. Play only if there's a side steam in the victory display. Hear a response after you attack an enemy, stun it. Alright, so this is going to have a little bit more limited use because you have to be playing with side steams. So the more characters that have them, the more chance you can use this. Just this card might get swapped out here or there, but that's still definitely a cool thing. Just for 2 costs, after you attack an enemy, you get a free stun on them. We have 3 copies of Moment of Triumph. With 0 cost event. Hero response. After you attack and defeat an enemy, heal 1 damage from your hero for each point of excess damage dealt to the enemy by the attack. Awesome. Again, this is actually pretty cool too. Do a bunch of overkill. X-Force is all about dealing excessive damage. So it's basically just going to let you heal a bunch anyhow. Alright, then we have one of them player side steam cards. Here Laura is as X-23 as Wolverine. I'm assuming the only reason they didn't call her Wolverine is just so they don't have multiple characters with the exact same name. So this has cost 1 to play, and it comes into play, otherwise it acts as a side steam with 3 threat per player. It says keep them busy, victory 0. Assault. Basic thwarts attack against the steam, use attack instead of thwart. And when defeated, the player who defeated the steam removes 5 per player threat from the main steam. So that's going to take you a little bit to do it, but the fact is you can attack it instead of thwarting it. It means if you have some very aggressive characters, they can take it out probably a lot quicker than doing some of the thwarting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you get 5 per player off the main steam. So if you're playing a 4-player game, as soon as you defeat this, now all of a sudden you can remove 20 threat from the main steam. Basically, that's going to take out lots of the main steams when you could be using attack to gain that far. That's pretty sweet. Alright, we have 3 copies of Now I'm Mad. 1 cost upgrade condition. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. When your hero's remaining hit points are less than half your hero's starting hit points, your hero gains 1 attack and -1 thwart. Cool. So yeah, if you want to basically turn your character into an aggression character, this is the card to do it. And then the final 3 aggression cards we have are the Direct Approach. X-Force, which like they're attacking the Dark X-Men there. 1 cost upgrade tactic. Limit to a non-permanent side steam. Limit 1 per side steam. So some of the main steams are sometimes permanent ones that have to stay out. You can't defeat them. But this will work on any other side steam, whether it's one from like the villain deck, one it's your player side steam, whether it's one from the Nemesis side steams. It says attack to the steam gains assault. So now you can use attack instead of thwart. So that's pretty cool. So you can definitely just have your team run in and beat the crap out of this card. Cool. These are very cool, really good aggression cards. Now we're going to jump into our basic. We have another side steam. We have Specialized Training. I like to add some basic ones in here. Just if nothing else for the fact is because then you can add them into any deck. Again, you don't want to have way too many side steams between all 4 players, meaning you can only have 2 at a time, because you're not going to be able to play them all, but it's nice to have more options. So when defeated, each player who does not control a specialization upgrade chooses 1 set aside specialization upgrade and puts it into play under their control. So we have those right here. So they show up at the end of the deck in here, but we're going to go ahead and look at them now. So yeah, this is kind of cool. So it's 5 per player, so it's going to be kind of hard to defeat. But again, you could attach that last card to it, the direct approach, and then just straight up physically attack it instead. I love that these are the blue and gold costumes, and we have Storm and Gambit there. Just in like regular X-Men costumes, you don't often see them in the uniforms. That's where it's not control specializations. Choose one set-aside specialization upgrade and put it in control. So there might be other ways to gain specializations throughout the game. So what can we get here? We can get Combat Specialist. It's magic there. 2-cost upgrade. And that's that linked ability. Hero gets +1 attack. Hero response. After your hero performs a basic attack, exhaust this card to draw 1 card. Defensive Specialist. Siren there. Your hero gets +1 defense. After you perform a basic defense, exhaust this card to draw 1 card. Frontline Specialist. Your hero gets +4 hit points. After your enemy takes damage from an enemy attack, exhaust this to draw a card. And then finally, Surveillance Specialist with Karma there. Hero gains 1 thwart after you perform a basic thwart. Exhaust this to draw 1 card. So that's cool. So basically, it boosts up your different stats, and then it gets an extra draw a card every time you do that. So it's trying to lean your character more towards whichever direction you want. So really, like, even just using X-23 here, you could keep upping her attack if you want, because she normally has 1. You could up it a little bit more and lean more into that aggression side. Or if you want to play in her defensive nature, you could give her more defense. So they're definitely cool. I'm going to take them specialization cards back out just so they don't get mixed in there. Alright, so the rest of our basic cards for her deck is we have Energy, which will work with the 2 symbols which work with Richter. We have Genius, and we have Strength. We have the I-Pack. X-Force's vehicle. Only play if your identity has the X-Force trait. Hero action, exhaust I-Pack and deal 1 face-down encounter card to a player. That player draws 2 cards. So pull on some risk, but you gain a good reward out of it. We have the X-Bunker. It's just a broken down airplane carrier. Location for X-Force. Action by exhausting X-Bunker and choose a player whose identity has the mutant trait. That player searches the top X cards of their deck for any card, where X is the number of side steams in their victory display and adds that to their hand. Okay, cool. So, again, this will only be benefit if you have more side steams. The upside about the way the side steam work, though, as up and downside, is anyone can play them, anyone can defeat them, but then it goes into the victory pile of whoever wins or defeats that card. So, like, if I'm playing, let's say I'm playing Domino Cable, X-23, and Psylocke, four X-Force members, and everyone has 2 side steams in their deck. I could play them all, and I could keep having Laura finish them to make her cards like this that much more powerful. But the thing is, if you have to have a teamwork, and sometimes it might be, hey, it'd be nice to have her defeat that, but we need to get that off the table right now for whatever reason. Because maybe it's affecting some other effect or something. So you might have someone else take care of it. Interesting. Alright, so we have 3 copies of Endurance. 1 cost upgrade condition. Playing any player's control, maximum per player get 3 hit points. Extra hit points are nice. Sometimes better than just general healing. Because the healing's kind of temporary, and you can always use your recovery to go higher than your max health. If you have this plus additional. So very cool. Basic cards are always fun to get. Alright, her obligation is self-isolation. Give to the Laura Kinney player. Search your hand, deck, discard pile, and player if you're Honey Badger, and place her face down under this obligation. If you cannot, discard this card and deal yourself 1 face down encounter. Response: after you make a basic recovery, discard this obligation and Honey Badger. Interesting. So it's a little bit different. I always like when they do these obligations different than just exhaust your character to discard this or skip your entire turn to get rid of it. So this is going to keep eventually coming back, but you just have to do a recovery card for it. The other thing I'm surprised they almost didn't do for this was do trigger effect for her, which in the comic book, if she gets trigger affected, it's like usually like a scent she smells. She goes into a berserker rage, and she'll attack anyone she sees. So it would have been interesting to have that as an obligation, almost like if you hit trigger scent, then like until you do like this, like some, I don't even know how you want to word it, but do something that she would start attacking your allies or teammates until that wore off or something. It basically makes it like a non-negotiable. It hits, it activates. Like there's no way around it. There's no way to discard to get rid of it. And then maybe just have like X number of counters on it per this or that. It would have been kind of a neat little different thing, but maybe it would have been too powerful, or maybe just it would suck to draw that one card and die because of it. Because none of the rest of them really kill you; they just delay you. All right, let's look at our Nemesis deck. We have Lady Deathstrike. So I don't know if Lady Deathstrike is necessarily X-23's nemesis. I don't know if she has a direct nemesis, but she definitely works as someone that she's fought several times in the comic books, usually because of her attachment to Wolverine. The 2 steam, 2 attack, 5 health, a leak, and a Reaver. The Reaver thing is really important because we have other Reavers from other sets. It's kind of cool. We're adding her combined with them to make for some interesting combos. When defeated, the player who defeated this minion discards the top card of the encounter deck, takes 1 indirect damage for each boost counter on that card. Her side steam is in the name of vengeance. Cute kid, be ashamed if something was to happen to her. Each enemy gains retaliate 1. Nice. She has cyber mods and attachment tech. Attach to Lady Deathstrike. If you cannot discard cards from the top of the encounter until a minion is discarded, put that minion into play, engage with you, and attach this card to it. Force interrupt. When attached minion will be discarded, shuffle it into the encounter deck instead. Oh boy, so basically you defeat that character and now you might have to fight them again. Critical wound, attachment, condition, attach to your identity. Force interrupt. When your turn ends, discard this card and take 4 damage. Pretty simple. And hack and slash. When revealed, discard 1 random card from your hand and take damage equal to the number of printed resources on it. Boost, discard 1 random card from your hand and take 1 damage to the printed resources on it. Basically punishing you for having resource cards. Alright, yes, Deathstrike's kind of neat. I do wish though, I like the fact that Nemesises are in the game. I personally feel like what would have been a better mechanic overall for the Nemesis would have been just having them as like extra encounters you could add into anything. Yes, so this isn't her deck. That's like each character gets like a little villain that they're kind of like their villain to fight against. Even like the way if you want to have it so it gets summoned with that card, but also be neat just to be able to add these in as any. You know, you sure you can, but just add them as other random encounters because some of these villains are kind of fun and it'd be fun to play against different characters. Alright, so we do have this. We have Stop. The remaining cards are not part of the X-23 pre-built deck. So these are extra cards. Normally we don't get this giant list of all that, but it does have it because it has the 4 specializations. After specialization cards, which you just saw. Alright, then we're going to flip this over, look at her actual deck, just in case you wanted to see it. I do like that they have the linked cards on there as well. That's pretty fun. Just so you know that they are technically they're part of this deck. Or as long as you include that specialization training card, which anyone can use. Alright, now we look at our extra cards we can get for upgrading other decks, other aspects. So we have 3 copies of the Justice card, Predictable Ploy. Two-cost event. If only play only if there's a side scheme in the victory display. Hero Interrupt. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. Cool. So yeah, it's gonna play very well into that side scheme ability. We have 3 copies of Anticipated Attack. 2-cost defense for defense, playing up there's a side scheme of the victory display. So now we have 1 for each of these different colors here. Hero Interrupt Defense. When your enemy initiates an attack, give your hero a tough status card. And then we have another player side scheme for leadership, which is kind of cool. Rally the Troops. When defeated, heal 2 damage from each ally. Press on, team victory is in sight. That looks like it's probably from Messiah Complex. There's a bridge in the back. Looks like Colossus has been wounded. Cool. Yeah, so it's definitely a neat one also. And then, like, for some of the other X-Force characters, some will be Justice, some will be Defense. So now you can add these cards and mix and match them, as well as they probably have some aggression cards that you could probably swap in. Very cool. Alright, so that was X-23. It's a very different style character. You just thought, again, she would have been, like I said early on, she'd just be straight up aggression, lots of attack. But instead, her deck is based around teaming up with Honeybagger and doing a bunch of basically boosting each other, but also doing a lot of defending. She has aggression. It's kind of interesting. I think she might be interesting to play as a defense character in the green. The side schemes are always definitely fun. We got 3 different ones to play as, again, mixing and matching between the different characters. Plus, also the fact is Cable has the ability to use any different side scheme of any color. So adding more from each character just gives him a lot more options to play as. That's what we have for this set. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out the other Marvel Champions unboxings. And stay tuned for more. See you guys later. Bye.